Mr. Cordray, I have no doubt that you have figured out that the majority of this committee feels that your agency is unaccountable by design, but we are increasingly concerned it may be unaccountable by practice as well. As you can tell from the monitors, the majority also are very focused on the unconscionable, unsustainable, and frankly immoral debt that's being left to our children. So how you expend the people's funds is a very salient issue. You were last before the Senate Banking Committee on November 12th. You were asked by Senator Coburn, who asked you, quote, "Can you tell me why we need a $95 million building?" I believe he was referring to your renovation budget. You answered, "By the way, we do not own, and I would rather not spend a penny on it." You went on to say the HVAC and electrical apparently has to be brought up to snuff. And finally, quote, "It is not like we are building some palace for the Bureau over the long term," unquote.
That's correct.
And now I discover on December 16th of last year, the Bureau released its financial report. Is it not true on page 39 of the report that the headquarters renovation costs have now jumped to $145.1 million?
I don't believe that that's correct in terms of construction costs. There are additional costs we are using.
This is not part of the renovation cost on page 39
well,
of the report?
I'm just saying, we're using GSA now to oversee this renovation because it has, as we've understood, received scrutiny, and we want to make sure things are being done right.
Well, let me ask you about the GSA. Then, because as I understand it, the GSA owns or leases 354 million square feet and 9,600 buildings across 2,000 communities, and that your $145 million renovation budget now is equivalent to over half of their entire annual budget nationwide. Were you aware of that?
I don't know much about GSA's operations. That's not the agency I run. I know a lot about the CFPB's operations. What I would say is they're the experts at dealing with these types of projects, so we got them.
Okay, is the $145 million merely to update the HVAC and electrical?
No, and there have been different numbers here, and the most recent number that I've seen is $114 million. What I am told is that about 2/3 of it is required in order to upgrade the basic structure, the building. We bought a tough building, apparently, and when I say bought, we have leased a tough building.
So it's not your building, and you're putting in, you're renovating a building that you do not own, putting in almost as much as the entire value of the building. I've tried to get some comparable real estate cost. As you say, quote, "We're not building some palace for the Bureau over the long term." Apparently, your renovation cost is now $483 per square foot, which is triple the typical Washington, D.C. luxury commercial Class A luxury renovation rate of 150 square feet. 3 times as much as the D.C. metro area. The Trump World Tower, you were spending more per square foot than the Trump World Tower, which came in at 334 square feet. You were spending more than the Bellagio Hotel in Casino, which at the time it was complete was the most expensive hotel ever built, 333 square feet. And if I'm pronouncing this right, you are more expensive than the Burj Khalifa, the tallest skyscraper in the world located in Dubai, which came in at $450 per square feet, which is known as a quote-unquote world-class destination, quote-unquote new urban masterpiece, superlative in every respect, designed by, quote, the world's most esteemed designers, one of which was the architectural firm Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, which the Bureau paid $7.5 million in order for architectural and engineering services at your headquarters. So here's the deal. What on God's green earth is going on here? Explain to me, Mr. Director, why I shouldn't be outraged and why the American people shouldn't be outraged.
Thank you for asking a question, Mr. Chairman, and let me restate. First of all, we do not own this building. It is an asset of the federal government. It's owned by the Comptroller of the Currency. We have leased the building. The renovations that are performed there will make the building serviceable for years to come, probably far outlasting the time of our lease. The notion that we would try to build some palace that we don't even own or control doesn't make much sense to me. I am told that
I don't think it makes much sense to the taxpayers, but you're spending the money.
if I might finish. I am told that we have to do certain things so that the building can be brought up to code and work properly. We're going to have to vacate the building while this is going on. None of this is convenient for myself and our employees. None of this is something that we prefer to do. You know, we worked with GSA to try to understand what space was available in Washington, D.C., and there's very limited space for an agency with over 1,000
My
employees.
guess is cheaper space could have been found in Reston, and the American taxpayers would have appreciated.
We looked around at surrounding areas as well.
I'm beyond my time. Chair now recognizes